As soon as the first light of morning begins to appear, the valley of Higher suddenly trembles with a painful cry. There is no wind, no voice, and all at once a rocky mountain splits open from the middle. Dust rises, light shines from within, and out emerges a magnificent shikhamel. People step back in fear. Someone whispers softly, "This is the miracle of G." When the tribe was destroyed because of their arrogance and cruelty, a few believers who had accepted the words of Prophet Hud were saved by Allah. After the punishment, the air was completely still. In the valleys, there were only shattered houses and the smoke of destruction lingering in the wind. The surviving people looked at one another and said, "Thank God we followed the words of his prophet. If Allah had not protected us, we too would have been destroyed." These believers left the valley of D and set out toward another land. The journey was long, difficult, and filled with hardship, but their generations needed a new land, one with water, prosperity, and peace. The caravan passed through the mountainous routes of Najd and Hijaz. Eventually, they found a nearly inhabited region, Al-Ula, where there were springs of water, gardens, and excellent fertility. There, their lineage began to grow. From this place, their tribe advanced further. Their descendants arrived at the valley of Al-Higher, which today is known as Madbi. In Glee, this was the beginning of the Thamud tribe. The lineage of Thamud became a mighty nation. Allah granted them physical strength, wisdom, technical skill, the ability to carve stone, and a naturally blessed land to live in. These people carved entire cities inside mountains. Their structures had straight walls, towering pillars, and such intricate designs that even today a person is left astonished upon seeing them. According to the Quran, they built palaces in the open plains and carved homes out of mountains. Their settlements were ruled by a royal system. Their markets were filled with lights, trade, voices, and at night they glittered with burning torches. The valleys had orchards, the sweet fragrance of dates, and lush green land. But then, forgetting the blessings of Allah, arrogance took over. They began to claim, "We built all of this with our own strength and intelligence." Their power misled them, and their hearts grew hard. They turned the carved idols in the mountains into objects of worship. Forgetting Allah, they began calling upon the forces of nature. They would boast, "May God grant us even more power, for there is no one greater than us in this world." They oppressed the weak, seized their rights, and treated the wishes of their chiefs as the only law. All of these, it was as if a human being abandons the law of Allah and creates a law of his own, and then declares himself permanently exempt from it. Everything seemed like a repetition of what happens when people go astray. Sorry, and the tribe of Thamud, corruption, shamelessness, and sin had become widespread. Their famous saying was, "We carve houses out of mountains. Who can stand against us?" They began to consider blessings as their own strength. They forgot that it is Allah who gives and Allah who takes away. In this very valley, in the blessed household of Uvaid ibn Amaz, a radiant child was born. From childhood, gentleness, wisdom, spiritual light, depth of thought, and purity of heart were clearly visible in him. The elders of the tribe often said, "This boy is not ordinary." His words carry great depth. When he grew up, his character remained completely different. The glitter of the world never attracted him. He spent time alone, remembering Allah. Then one night, Allah granted him prophethood. Li went to his people and said, "Worship only Allah. You have no deity other than him." The leaders of the tribe laughed. They said, "Until yesterday, you were our intelligent friend. And today you stop us from worshipping our gods. We used to consider you righteous, but now you are preventing us from the things. You are stopping us from the practices that have come down to us from our forefathers." Gigi gently explained, "This valley, these structures, this nature, all are blessings from Allah. Be grateful, do not commit shirk." But the people replied, "Do not speak without proof. If you are truly a prophet, then show us a sign." The leaders said, "Make a living shikhamel. Come out from inside this rocky mountain. Only then will we believe." Gijig went with them to that mountain and prayed, "O Lord, you are witness, manifest your sign." Then, in a moment, the color of the valley changed. The mountains split from the middle. A wave of light startled everyone, and then a magnificent she-camel emerged from the rock. She was no ordinary camel. The Quran calls her Nikukatalo, the Shikamilavala, a divine sign. Her presence, her majesty, the people witnessed something they had never seen before. The miracle did not end there. The she-camel would drink water from the valley's well for the entire day, and the whole well would be emptied. People became worried. The well is completely drained, but Allah had provided compensation for this. The next day, the entire tribe would be sustained from her milk. So much milk that every household, every animal, every child, all their needs were fulfilled. On the day she drank from the well, no one will take water from the well on the day the she-camel drinks, and the next day you all may drink from it. Meaning, one day for the she-camel, and the next day for the people. But the tribe could not tolerate even this test. The chiefs complained, "Our freedom has been taken away. Will a camel rule over our water?" Their arrogance rose once again. When some people began to believe in Jigig, the faces of the leaders turned red with anger and jealousy. They said, "Because of this she-camel, Gli Sanor is increasing. If we do not act, the whole tribe will follow him." Then they conspired. Destroy this sign, and Gli's influence will be destroyed too. A wealthy woman said, "Whoever kills this she-camel, I will marry my daughter to him." Young men volunteered immediately. Tonight, this she-camel will not survive. When the she, after drinking her fill of water, started returning, the killers followed her. First, one man shot an arrow. It wounded her leg. Then they all attacked together, and in a single assault, they killed that divine sign. The tribe cried out, "We have killed the she-camel. Now all the water is ours." This was the very crime for which punishment had been promised. Liye arrived, his face pale, tears in his eyes. He said, "What have you done? You have killed the sign of Allah. Now you have only a fixed days left. We see no sign of any punishment," they said. But then the countdown of the punishment began. On the first day, their faces turned pale. On the second day, their faces became red. The wind grew hot, and the sky turned crimson. On the third day, their faces turned black. A smell of death spread through the valley. People said, "We made a terrible mistake." Then, just before dawn, the sky trembled. The mountains shook. A terrifying sound rose from the earth, and then came a scream. Such a scream that hearts burst and souls fled from bodies. The entire tribe fell dead in their homes. The Quran says, "A single blast seized them." The tribe of Thamud was wiped out. Li stood at the edge of the valley and said, "I have warned you, but you did not like to take advice." The ruins of Gli still testify to this truth. When the sign of Allah is denied, nations are not saved by their buildings. They are saved by faith. If you liked this Quranic story, then like the video and write in the comments.